What's up, everybody? I'm not mad at this reunion. I'm definitely not mad at this reunion. Hit the like button as intro plays because we have a lot to get into. I mean, a whole lot.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
What is this? What is it?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, y'all. So let's start off with a little bit of mess because this one's going to be a fun night. I hope you grab your drinks. I didn't even have any real mix, so this mix is a mess. Okay. We're about to get a little messy. So y'all tell me in the comments who are better, Shereé or Kenya, because I don't know if they have the same, I don't know what you would call this, but they have been wearing the same things a lot. We saw Shereé and Kenya wear the same thing to Family Feud. They have this dress. They continuously are up to par. Now, I will say, Shereé, this was at her confessional. Kenya was more of a candid picture. So, I don't know who's been in whose closet. Oh. The shade is starting early. Okay, so I hate to do this. Who wore it better? Unverified fake cousin Courtney or Evelyn? And I don't like either one of them. But who wore it better? Let's see what y'all are saying. Both. Evelyn, Courtney. Evelyn, neither. Evelyn, neither. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's my mom calling me. Unverified fake cousin Courtney, neither. What's up, Yocrates? Neither. Evelyn, I don't like Courtney, but she got okay. So at least y'all are being fair. Fake cousin. Oh, and if it's the same, why are you doing my mom? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. This is my mom, and y'all can't hear this conversation. So hold on one second. Okay, sorry. That was my mom. She was calling back to back. So you know if you get back to back calls, you gotta if your mom is calling back to back, you definitely gotta answer this. So Lifetime has a new movie coming out. I'm very excited. Drew said that she won't do anything lower than Lifetime. So, it's called The Cousin. Yeah, now who's gonna play the single black female kind of crazy one? I don't know, but Drew can definitely reprise her role. Have y'all seen this? If you don't know, I actually interviewed Drew's sister Allison. It was a really great interview. Definitely you want to check that out. The interview was great. It wasn't just messy, it was everything. I told y'all we are gonna have a good night tonight. Shout out to Riley. She just turned 21. She's looking great. She actually got her mom to drink. Now, all these text messages are about to wear me out. Evelyn. Hold on. Sorry. But yeah, Riley's looking great. Shout out to her. She literally just turned 21. So let's get into the let's get into oh, sorry, Riley's party. Riley got Kandi to take shots. So it was only something Riley could do when she turned 21. So I'm gonna get y'all that video next time that I'm live. Okay. So we did the oh no, we got one more who wore it better. But I'll save that one for later. Let's get into this. So the show starts off with I am loving awareness. Are we really getting that from any of these ladies? Because it got low real quick. We start off the reunion with Kandi being booked and busy. I kind of remember 2 to 3 seasons where Nene was still a full-time cast member and she wasn't required to be there for everything. Remember when she was a star? Oh, Yak says, hey, Mims in chat, I'm not only here, but I'm on time. I cannot wait to hear your commentary. Thanks, Yakutis. I appreciate that. Carol Chamberlain says, I love the messy Miss Mims. Keep it coming. I told y'all we were going to have a good time. Definitely, we're going to have a good time. Yeah, so when Nene was doing it, it was okay. But now all of a sudden that Kandi's doing it, it's not okay. Nene phoned it in for several seasons, so I don't know. It's probably because this season was pretty dry that they really wanted everybody to be a part. So we move on. So Marlo is on Ozempic. I want people to really understand that although so many people are using this as a fad, people who actually have diabetes can't get their hands on this drug. So to casually just say, oh, you know, I'm on the shots. I didn't like it when Marlo did it. I don't like it when the Orange County women do it. I don't like when the women from New York do it. I don't like when anybody is just so casual about taking a drug from people who really need it with diabetes. Additionally, it can cause stomach paralysis. So what are we doing? Are we supposed to applaud you because you're skinny because you took a drug from the diabetic people? Just saying. I like what are we doing there? Okay. Kenya's underboob. Now, I don't know if it is the fact that they really cut Kenya's scenes out, but everything that they talked to Kenya about felt like it was just something extra. Like it wasn't the meat and potatoes. And that's weird to me because she's a star of the show. I don't know. I didn't like it. I really want them to actually give Kenya like time on the show. I want them to actually give Kenya a shot because this is not it. Like we got Shereé twirling around the thing. Like recast half the seat. Like recast half of them at this point. It was fun, but one of the warning labels is pancreas. Oh wow. Is skinniness worth the risk of the most? Oh, wow. Right. I don't like it. I have gastro paralysis. Oh, I'm sorry, Blue Muffy. I'm sorry. Sebastian, not supposed to be used for weight loss. Yeah, it just, she wants to be a sample size. Okay. Okay. We moving on. So we talked about Kenya's underboob. Okay. Sanya's baby is due December 25th. This is the only thing that Sanya said that I cared about was her baby being due on the 25th of December. Other than that, her just chiming in. Sanya, why are you here? At this point, if Sanya was supposed to be a Cynthia, she is failing on all fronts. Okay, I'll put my allegedly banner up. Allegedly. We're getting into Shereé. So Shereé wants us to know that everything is great when she's around Martel, but then they press her on Martel, and then she says she's choosing herself first. So what is it? Is everything great when you're around him, or are you now just choosing yourself first? Either way, I really don't care. Like, there is nothing interesting to me about Shereé and Martel. This whole storyline fell absolutely flat. The big D energy and him saying he never touched you, there was a disconnect from the very beginning. Like, I don't know. I feel like we have seen everything that we need to see from Shereé. She's been fired. She's come back every chance she got. And now I'm done. I'm done. Do I feel like she was prepared for this reunion? Yes, I do. I feel like she was prepped because there was no you know how Shereé does. There was no stuttering, which means that she came fully prepared for this. So, I mean, I wasn't mad at the reunion. To be honest with you, I got some chuckles. I was in here like laughing. But other than that, Bob's secret baby, they asked you specifics, and what you said was she came around. We want to know when she was introduced to your family. What do you mean? What, like, huh? Hold on. It says it was made for the diabetics and pre-diabetic to lose weight or stay on a certain weight. Also, just obese people who need help. That's it. Naomi says it's made for diabetic and pre-diabetic to lose weight or stay at a certain weight. Also, just obese people or people who need help losing weight. That's exactly what it's for, but not for housewives who can just afford to pay for it and take it off the market for people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. So, okay. Shereé, we wanted to know when she was introduced to your family and how long Bob knew. So now you knew about this girl. You knew about this girl, and we don't care as a people. She's grown. You're in your 50s. We don't care. We don't. If you haven't seen my expose on Shereé and Bob, you definitely need to check that out. Kenya brings up the revenge pee, and Shereé glazes over it. What was her exact words? She says, it's a lot of noise. Now, if you did not see my expose on Shereé and Bob, check that out because Bob had actually threatened revenge pee against her. So it's history repeating itself. Well, not technically. Martel didn't say that he would do it against Shereé. But the point is, you had a husband who threatened you with it, allegedly. And now Martel has allegedly done that to Melody. And that's all you can say is it's a lot of noise? Okay. Shereé's whole, this was a lot. In terms of Shereé, I was over her almost at the start. Sassy Girl says, I had to pop out the bushes to say your facial expressions will never decline. Thank you. Y'all know I bit my lip about 4 or 5 times in the same spot. So it's pretty swollen. But thank you for that. Okay. Continuing on. Shereé did not deserve first chair. Shereé says she's pulled back because she can't get caught up in all of his mess, but she will not address any of the stuff with Martel. They then get to Kenya talking about Shereé and how Shereé and Martel, Martel had done that thing in her DM'd her or something, and Kenya gave some excuse saying DMs go. Whatever the case was, he's there. That's why Kenya did it. We don't even have to go that far. She didn't tell you over the phone initially. She waited till y'all were filming the show. Y'all aren't really friends. That's really what it amounts to. The same way that You're going to present, I believe she says she has like text messages between Drew and Ty or something next week. However that's going to go. The same reason you didn't present that off camera. So dumb. I'm just trying. Just like so not smart in general. Marlo is not really a part of any storyline. So what Marlo is doing is quietly whispering, like she does every episode. It was the wrong time and place. Shereé, Kenya shouldn't have done it. It was the wrong time and place. That's what we get from that's what we get from Marlo. The dating argument. They're talking. So Kenya and Shereé are now arguing about dating. Now, Drew, in that argument, Drew then says, it's hard out here. Oh, wait, what? So Sanya says, Drew, how would you know? Because technically Drew is still married. I'm like, foot in your mouth. What are you doing, Drew? What is going on there? So Sanya clocks her for that or whatever. Maybe she meant it's hard being in relationships, or I don't know. It was not that part. You chimed in at the wrong time, Drew, and I'll just leave it at that. Sanya clocked it. Oh my God. So Mark we all knew that Mark took umbrage with Marlo kicking the door and put that in the new contempt of court for Kenya. That was BS, but whatever the case may be, Marlo, you shouldn't have done it. Whether the child was in there or not, you're kicking doors, you're slamming doors, but then you're saying, don't throw that plum at my dress. But you're slamming doors in people's faces and kicking other people's doors. You're just as aggressive. Like, what? Just dumb. Just dumb. So Kenya says, you've now been subpoenaed, sends it through Andy, but the subpoena is empty. It was giving very much season 5? Season 6? When she's trying to put the batteries in the bullhorn to call Portia a hoe. Kenya, you are now 10, 11 seasons in, ma'am. If you're going to have your props, you need to have your props ready. So this was, again, another kind of like dumb, funny moment. I wasn't mad about that. How do you have this big grandiose announcement? You better believe I would have been right to my team having it printed out. So say that's the real one and bring the camera crew. Like, what are you? What is going on? Marlo has been texting Mark. 2 years ago, Marlo was texting Mark. What? Why would you be texting Mark? Like Nene said, you better find out why he texting. You need to find out why why Marlo went to his restaurant. I totally believe that she was trying to get dirt on Kenya because that's the kind of woman that Marlo is. The same way that she did it with Nene's older, short Italian pizza guy. I don't know. That's what Marlo does. So how she was acting like she didn't know it. I hope that Kenya produces those receipts. Because that's really trash. To be calling that lady's husband to get dirt. And I totally believe she did. It was trash when you did it to Nene. And Nene was your real friend. But y'all know Marlo would have you believe.
No, your wholeness can get deleted. Your wholeness can get deleted.
Moving right on. She by Shereé's designer responds. So let's get into that. So his name is Tyree. Let me share the screen with you guys. He had said this after the She by Shereé initial launch. What kills me is it don't matter how genuine and how honest you try to be with people, they will worry about yourself and play it if they can. This lady, Shereé Housewives of Atlanta, shit by Shereé, didn't have really no clothes or style for her fashion show. Not only was I on the set altering clothes the day of, spent $2,500 of my own dollars to meet the deadline and make it happen. Not only she takes all the credit, never said thank you, and it was on national TV last night and made her finale look good out of her 14 years of trying. This lady still never at least just reimbursed me, let alone pay me. I made her 40 pieces of clothes less than a week. She's not going to make $1 off the clothing line because God don't play about me, and I ain't giving her no patterns or ideas no more. So that's that. What y'all saw last night was echoes of my years in the fashion and making people millionaire. If you knew all the companies that come to me for designs and ideas and samples, you would hit the floor in disbelief. I care less about famous, but pay me and respect what I did for you. Now that kind of echoes exactly what Dwight had said about her. Utilized him to make that fashion show happen. Now, sir, we do know that it's Sheen Design. So what, like, you were the one who came up with like the star? I would want to know exactly what you did. Did you do the logos? Just saying. So, oh, it says Kenya posted the real one on Twitter. So now we're really getting into the real Shereé. Shereé and Kandi are now fighting. Shereé, I'm assuming, went into this reunion with the same adage with Marlo: we're gonna make Kandi work. So we got almost 1,000 people in here. Where are we on likes, people? Let's get the likes up to at least like 500. That would be great. Let's see where we're at. We're only at 200. So let's get those likes up to 5. It's a free way to support the channel. So they're now going back and forth. Shereé tells Kandi to clean her nasty ass floors in her restaurant. Shereé stands up, lets the people know that her fillers are removed, and said, "How you like me now?" Now, here's the thing. As Shereé was twirling around the stage, all that I could hear was this.
Oh, don't make that face. Ooh.
Fix that back.
Fix that face.
Okay. Fix that back.
What are you
talking?
That's all I heard when I was seeing her twirl around the stage. Kandi calls her a low down, dirty, nothing ass bitch. Well, all right. Keep tightening up that face. Look, Shereé probably did overfill, but I do think that she looks great after. Well, she says she had them removed. I know that they will eventually dissolve, so I don't know how you would have them removed. But shout out to her because she looked great once they were taken back out. I'm sure, she looks great. I'll just leave it at that. But the low down, dirty, nothing ass bitch. That was like when Kandi called a freako. As y'all were watching this and y'all could see Kandi's face all the way through this reunion, I was waiting for one of these moments. Like literally.
I don't give a damn if I wanted to take care of every motherfucker in here.
Put me on that agenda. You like women?
Which is my favorite Kandi line. I don't give a damn if I could take care of every motherfucker in here. I could. That is my favorite line. Talk your shit, Kandi. But Kandi was like this through the whole reunion. They might as well has put her first seat at this point because they kept her in the hot seat the entire time. Her and Marlo, Shereé and Marlo were tag teaming Kandi this entire reunion. And we haven't even gotten to the pamphlet. Shereé pulls a receipt, a newspaper. Now, Shereé, why did you do a whole pamphlet? Like literally, the jokes write themselves. You could not produce your own fashion show multiple times, but you could produce a pamphlet. What are we doing here? Like, we had 14 seasons before you produced one fashion show, and even then your website crashed. But you have the time to go and have people produce a pamphlet. Andy's saying that Shereé had an interesting connection to paying bills is absolutely right. And Shereé said, I've never been sued. What do you call liens from contractors? What are we, huh? What exactly do you call liens from contractors? Those are legal documents where they're saying you did not pay the money. There were multiple, like I have Shereé's liens, I could pull all that kind of stuff. There were multiple liens, Shereé. You had a tax bill of like $300-some thousand. Yes, it shows that there is a interesting connection with paying bills, as in you don't. Not a newsletter. Andy ate that. Andy was loving the thing. I wish Kandi would have called her out more. Like a fashion show with no fashions. When is your fashions coming out? Spring, summer. Fashion, it'll show in the fall, but it's gonna come out the summer. Y'all remember all this, right? Like Shereé, it's a joke. It's a joke. She then gets on Tag's Boutique. Like, oh my gosh. Ma'am, come here. Come closer. Listen. Kandi has a viable business for 14 years. Some of the clothing items in there are Shein or whatever the Fashion Nova type clothes are, and they sell for around those price points. So from a business vantage point, if you wanted something same day from a Fashion Nova, technically you could go into a Tag's Boutique, right? Moderately priced, ready to wear clothing. You order from Shein and then you put your logo or a star on it and mark it up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. And Shein will deliver what, like 2-3 days? Your stuff, which in my opinion probably isn't ready made, it's made upon demand. And that's why they're having questions of whether you receive it. Like, it's just not smart. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to be mean about this, but you were saying my clothing is $75.99. Hers is only $10. For every person who shops at Macy's, Burlington Coat Factory, Ross, TJ Maxx, they are selling 1,000 pieces per hour to the Gucci that might sell 1 to 2. Their profit margins are very large. It's just the ineffectual business sense. It's like, what are we doing here? Tag's Boutique has been open for 14 years. You and Marlo both have defunct boutiques. Like, is it just me? I don't get it. Toya, thank you so much. She says, I hate when step parents throw off on the outside child. She's such an immature woman. Wait, are you talking? Oh, you must be talking about Courtney, cutting Faith. Okay, we're definitely gonna get to that. Thank you so much for the super chat. No, Shereé said that Kandi is buying from Shein for $9.99 and charging $75. No. Shereé is the one that upcharges. Kandi's clothing is really inexpensive at Tag's Boutique. Shereé is the one charging. So she would right, Sacha. From what I picked up, what she was trying. Oh wait, Q says that's what I got from it. Well, let me go back and look. Let's see. I'm gonna go back and look. I got from it that she was trying to say that Kandi stuff was $10 and hers was $75. So I'm gonna check it out. We'll know by next week. But okay. So Kenya said, well, why didn't you add me to the front of it? And Shereé said, because I couldn't find a good picture. That was funny. Okay. That was funny. I don't even think she was trying to be funny, but that was actually funny. Then we get on that one picture that Shereé had that they said she looked like Drew, and Shereé said that was my worst picture. Do I have that one? This one. She said that was my worst picture. I was like, ooh. That was a good read. What I will say is it reminded me of this Married to Medicine moment.
Pretty picture.
It's not. I will not.
I was 25 pounds bigger with a broken ankle.
That's
It's not.
I didn't see it as a bad picture. I thought she looked less like Drew and more like Hazel E in this particular photo, but you know, whatever. Let's get into Drew. So Drew spoke kindly initially of Kandi's production, but as we got into it, that's when Drew had said that she won't be doing anything less than Lifetime. And we find out that Kandi's production was literally a 10-day shoot, and Drew took less than her bottom line to do it. Marlo and Shereé are trying to be the new frickin' frack, and they don't have one brain between them. At least in the original frickin' frack, Phaedra had a brain. So, but anyway, they're trying to be the new freaking frack, and they're like, well, she only got paid $10,000. So Kandi is quick to say that yes, Drew did not make her normal wage for the movie, but, and then Drew threw in for her normal union rate. So Kandi said she didn't make it, but she definitely paid her more than $10,000. So that was a little, you could see that things were starting to get kind of like tumultuous between the two. Kenya is offended by Drew saying Toi was 22 years ago. But Kenya, she said, so disappointed by Drew's comments. I've always supported her dreams. I never asked her about her acting career or singing career when she fell off. Only encouraged her and praised her. Wow, uncalled for, unprovoked. Kenya, fair is fair. You did say her stuff looked low budget. So these are kind of like normal tit for tat things that I'll say, you know, catty little things that go on Housewives. I'm not mad at it. To be honest with you, nobody's technically trying to destroy each other right now at this point, so I'm okay with it. So now you got Kenya actually apologizing, which kudos to her. She saw the parallel between her reading Drew and Drew reading her. Drew says is a whole bunch of Kandi-coded lies. Kandi calls Drew a lying ass hoe. I feel like Kandi still was not over everything that went on at the with SWV and Escape, because Kandi just, what did she call Shereé? A nothing ass bitch, and Drew a lying asshole. Sanya at this point keeps chiming in, and it's really getting on my nerves. You have no actual dedicated storyline, and the only way that people remember you are on the couch is for you to chime into these conversations. It wasn't really necessary. After the argument between Drew and Kandi, Drew leans in and says, "Are we okay?" This was as ridiculous as Kenya giving Andy that blank subpoena. Like, I'll tell you this much. I was actually cracking up at certain parts of this reunion. And to me, that's good because I was struggling through the season. The reunion had me laughing. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. No, Drew, you're not okay. In fact, now Kandi is saying that you gaslight your husband and that she is no longer on your side. So what? Somebody says I was wondering how it was edited. Okay, maybe it was edited. I don't know, but it was like, what is going on is what I was getting from this reunion. It looked like a circus. So we get into Marlo body shaming people. And Marlo says, all I had was a tummy tuck. Okay, you're also on Ozempic. They said you had a BBL. I think she probably had something closer to liposuction 360s, where they suck the fat out of like your arms, your back, your stomach, and put it in your butt and your inner thighs. But, you know, whatever, Marlo, whatever. Everybody's always so concerned about Kenya's butt, but you see Kenya is not really chiming in for Marlo. Like, she's not taking the same digs. And I want to point that out. She takes some digs at her, but it ain't about that. They're asking now if Drew and Ralph will work it out. Marlo said that Ralph reached out to her. Now, I'm not surprised that Ralph reached out to her, because I, honest to God, feel like Ralph has been really feeding cousin Courtney, or unverifiable fake cousin Courtney. So I'm not surprised that he was reaching out to Marlo. Basically, anybody was on the cast who could try to throw Drew under the bus is what he did. So when I heard that, I was not surprised at all. We got Marlo reaching out to Mark, and now Ralph and Marlo having conversations. It's not a great look. It reads desperate, but nobody's surprised that it comes from Marlo. If you're just getting in here, there is a new movie on Lifetime coming out called The Cousin. Go ahead and check that out. Okay. So moving on. Shereé is now talking to Andy about her $39 shoes. Okay. Moving right along. Manetta and Courtney. They come out. Courtney says that she was not actually calling Drew a bitch. When she said bitch, it was in reference to somebody. I don't know. I don't. Excuse me. I want Courtney to go away from me with this. There's nothing interesting about Courtney to me. I just want her to go away. Ugh, Jesus. Courtney was married. Courtney said, it's Ralph's uncle's wife had married. Yo, I don't know. I still can't figure it out. Q. Gainit. Oh no. Gainit said the only thing she lied about was her weight. Yes, we know. I'm also over the Marlo Sleep for Money read. It's old. Also, get rid of Yanyetta. Thank you so much for the super chat. If Marlo, I feel like I'll allow it. We don't have any clear indication involving Marlo, how she got her money, just to say I invested. Yeah, drug dealers invest in all kinds of things to clean their money. Just to say I invested, I think you invested in your body in order to continue to go on those dates. That's my opinion. I don't know how else to say it. Everything that Marlo says is I only date rich men. I only date rich men. And her aesthetic is I'm going to wear every label so that I can belong. It's not that hard of a read. I mean, it's actually the reality. Kandi said Marlo's first season that Marlo was actually an escort. And it is what it is. You don't like Manetta? I don't mind Manetta, but she's going to need to step it up. She's going to need to step it up quick. I don't know if they're giving her the opportunity to do so, but I like that she threw herself in the mix with the collusion thing. Somebody said Queen Courtney. Okay, interesting. Drew throws a plum. Now, Drew, why? Why would you throw a plum? What?
It is ridiculous. It's just completely ridiculous.
Why would you throw that plum? It didn't. I'm just like, we got to stop with the props. Drew's plum, Kenya's like subpoena that didn't have no words on it. What are we doing, people? She by Shereé's pamphlet. Too much. We're doing too much. I can't. Oh. Marlo. So Courtney and Phaedra are trying to get Marlo's record expunged. I don't care. I don't. The nephew got a car. I'm really happy for Marlo's views. It's the one thing, the one character trait that I like about Marlo. But Marlo saying that Kenya's boyfriend had popped her cherry and all that kind of stuff, and Kenya giving an excuse as to why he wasn't there. To be honest, I didn't like him either, Kenya. I really feel like, I don't know, maybe Kenya goes for aesthetics more than anything, but she's such a pretty lady. She comes with her own money. I don't understand it. Like, dude after dude, I think it's aesthetic. I think she goes maybe for what she thinks is attractive. And maybe that's why some of those guys like lack substance. But it's surprising. I know Kenya says she can go to Home Depot and get some dick if that's what she wanted. That's what she said. Cousin Courtney and the collusion. Cousin Courtney and the collusion. I totally believe Moneta when Moneta says that Courtney was fighting for her life and really did not want the people to turn on her because she was in support of Drew. So they were going back and forth, and Moneta had a little moment. She was talking with her chest.
I said what I said. Okay.
Collusion, and I believe it. Courtney was continually trying to overtalk her. She did it with Drew. She did it with Moneta. She did it with Kandi on that Speak On It. Overtalking somebody is a clear indication that you probably were not in the right or that you really are on some F shit. Just saying. Sonya is now again chiming in. Y'all can put in the chat. Without her chiming in, did Sonya really have anything going on this reunion or season outside of the pregnancy, which I'm really happy for her for? But other than that, I'm ready for her to go. I don't think she adds anything. It's nothing interesting. It's not even like she's a good go-between between the girls, because a good go-between would be like Cynthia. Y'all remember when they were talking about Kim Phil's husband Chrissy, and everybody was like laughing and, you know, twirling their dress and all this kind of stuff, and Cynthia sat there stone-faced. When Kenya would go in on people, remember coochie crack, coochie crack, coochie crack, Cynthia sat there stone-faced. Sonya, on the other hand, has definitely chosen a side, but wants to pretend like she is not. So I'm ready for her to go. You really, do what Tommy's Bites Life says. Definitely hit that like button. Let's see where we are. We are at 500 likes, but 1,500 people. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. So we're going to get into the Cousin Courtney stuff. Now, Courtney calling Kandi's people ghetto. What? You came in to this season 20 on 10 because as a crisis manager, you felt you knew how to incite violence on the show. And that's just not where it's at, because it was not believable. And when Kandi was not technically around for you to fight with her, then you moved on to Drew. At a certain point, Ralph, in my opinion, started feeding you stuff about Drew. So your loyalties were very quickly with Shereé, who you knew, and Marlo. Like, you became Marlo's sidekick. calling people ghetto and all this kind of stuff and talking about people's mental illness, you really are a dirty bird. Like just a bird brain dodo. I know. Ralph said, well, what Ralph told me, Ralph said, I can't. Oh. Drew was already getting on my nerves. The voice, the attitude, everything about this woman irks the hell out of me. Ralph said, the eye rolls, the talking about people's children. Ralph said, so did Ralph tell you that the boy he was writing a book about adopting, that adoption was just some ploy from Drew? Is that what Ralph said? Like, that's what we're doing here. Let me know. Because although I don't like Blockhead Ralph, I don't think that Ralph specifically told you that about his son. Because whether your child is a stepchild or not, that is still your child. You have helped raise this boy. You have been with Drew since this kid was, 2 years old? 3 years old? It's trash. Somebody said Ralph's head shape is enough not to trust him. He can't even think straight. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Ralph said this, it's trash. If Ralph didn't say it, Courtney, you are trash. But repeating it and then doubling down on it, what Drew, oh my God, I want Chicago to come out of Drew. I really, really, really wanted Nene to jump in and inhabit Drew in that moment.
No different than you, bitch. Don't you ever talk about my kids, okay?
That's what I needed. Like, literally, that's what I needed. Or maybe throw in a little bit of Phaedra.
I'm having an affair. I say that. You have made it into something that you did not fact check. She 2 seconds from getting her ass beat.
That's what we needed. You should have chunked the plum at her head. Because that comment of Drew only wanted the adopt. Hold on. Drew only wanted the adoption because she wanted to go with her lesbian lover. And Ralph would have to pay the bills. That's what I was getting from it. I can't. Like, literally, I can't. I try. I cannot get with that. Pretty Black Girl 74 says, hey fam, this reunion has our memes exasperated. It does. Pretty Black Girl, we see each other. Who came up with Yonetta? Cue the content guy, because I'm here for it. I like Manetta, but a lot of people, they initially said they felt like she was too invested in Kandi stuff last season, and this season she didn't do enough. But thank you for the super chat. Brittany 12 says kissing cousins. And you said it, Brittany, not me. But I can't, y'all. I can't. Andy had to tell, like, Andy now has children. So I think that Andy actually was feeling exactly what Drew was saying. You had my child in your mouth. And she was over talking Drew. Like, to feel so comfortable speaking like that on somebody's child in another space and time, it probably would have been an ass whooping. Like, literally. You don't double down on that kind of stuff. I wasn't talking about your son. You obviously were talking about the son. I never felt like the son was super comfortable being on camera, talking about the adoption and all that. And now you add a layer of kids are going to be on the playground saying your daddy don't want you. Your daddy didn't want to adopt you. That's not cool. It's not funny. It's not cute. And
No different than you, bitch. Don't you ever talk about my kids, okay?
You needed to check her. And in that moment, you were the one who did the wrong thing. You should have shut up. You should have shut the F up and let Drew have her moment because you talked about her kid. Now, if somebody had said something about your 25-year-old daughter, you would have a problem. But this kid is, I don't even know that he's 10. Is Josiah 10? Like, it's a for real kid, and it's for really his adoption. It's, oh my God, trash box. Close your legs to married men, trash box. Doreen Gar says, every time Kandi and Kenya, Drew was saying something, they was on the other couch talking between themselves. Oh, so every time Kandi, Kenya, and Drew was saying something, they were on the other couch. Yeah, they were. It definitely was a clear division. And technically, the only person who Drew kind of had was Kenya. And the only person Kandi had really was Kenya. I don't know. The other girls, they had definitely clearly talked about what they were going to do and, whatever. Thank you so much for the super chat, Doreen. I appreciate it. The bitch comment. To be honest, I really didn't care so much about the bitch comment. What I think it was Drew started to pick up on the fact that her husband and Courtney definitely, it was an uncomfortable kind of weird, we're cousins. And for Courtney to say that she's been a better friend to Ralph in the last 6 months than Drew had been in 8 years, that tells you kind of like the mindset. I don't want to say that they're doing something, but it definitely feels more than just a brand new cousin. So you're on this show. There is some through marriage and 8 times removed and 12 degrees of separation. This is my cousin. And now you're feeding her all this stuff about your wife. She did not say I've been a better cousin to you in the last 6 months. She said I've been a better friend to you. So now it gives homie love a friend. It's weird. I can't say that enough. It's absolutely weird. And I hope that they don't bring her back. It was bad enough to give Marlo a peach. But if now we're going to start with these people going this low at the beginning, it's not fun to watch. I know that I said, and I'm a person who always says, keep me honest. I didn't really give Drew a shot until it was announced that her and her husband were splitting up. No one should ever revel in a marriage breaking up. I do felt like that Ralph gaslit this woman, but there's young kids involved. Ralph coming on to say that he would like to make it work with his wife while also feeding Courtney everything that she needed to try to destroy Drew. Those two things don't make sense. That's gaslighting in yourself. Yeah, I want to work on my marriage while I'm calling Marlo. I want to work on my marriage while I'm telling this bobblehead that Drew did this and Drew did that. None of it makes sense. It's not believable. It's not interesting. It kind of just made me cringe. Yeah, thirsty, ridiculous. But it wasn't a bad episode. I'm not mad at it. The next part of the reunion, I almost feel like we're going to see the demise of Drew's marriage because it's going to be a pile up. Sanya is saying Drew lied to her. Kandi is saying that Drew lied to her, or Drew called her a liar. The whole kissing of the girl thing, I was ready for them to let go of Bolo Gate. I'm ready for this kiss to be let go. Now, they're going to produce some receipts of Drew texting back and forth with this girl, or allegedly with Ty. I'm going to hold my judgment until I see it, but y'all can put in there. I thought that the funny, light elements of this show were funny. It's the takedown of Drew in this way and something that's so real like her marriage. I don't think that that's so cute. Now, what Drew could have said is if these text messages are between her and Ty, I would have said, well, Andy, let's go back through this revenge P thing. Because if Bob allegedly was going to pull it on you, and now we find out that the new man you dating is the same kind of crusty, dusty ass, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about everything that you don't have in your relationships and who you're kissing. Because many people in the streets say that you'd probably rather be with a Marsha than a Martel, Shereé. But we're not talking about that. Like, I really wish that Drew would have had a quicker turnaround because Shereé is a read in herself. And Marlo is trying to out everybody as lesbians every damn season. She did it since her first season, but she's the only one with the Oscar the Grouch kind of voice. Like, rah, 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 rah. We don't technically know who you date or what you've done or who you've done. All we know is you have a fervent belief that
No, your wholeness can get deleted. Your wholeness can get deleted.
That's all we know. So I don't know where this is going to go. I'm going to hold back judgment because Andy turned and said these things are very, I think he said condemning or, so we're going to see how that goes, but it doesn't feel good. I've never liked on these shows where people really, really, really go for somebody's actual marriage. Is where we're at though. I'm not mad at the episode. Bernice says she's a side chick positioning to be the main chick. But is Ralph the catch? Y'all, I mean, I know people, I guess people do swoon over Ralph. If, good luck to this man. I don't know. If people want to swoon over Ralph, go for it. I don't take joy in the downfall of a marriage. But I am interested to see what all of these receipts are. I just wish that Shereé would pull her own receipts and pay her contractors. Those are the receipts she should be pulling because there's all these liens. It's very easy to pull somebody's liens. Also, if your wife has been cheating, why are you now coming on stage saying that you want to get back with her after she did all these horrible things and all these allegations that Courtney has been your mouthpiece for? Somebody said Ralph is the cat's meow. Who is listening for Ralph? Scotty likes Ralph. Interesting. Judgment-free zone. Good luck. I hear you can find him in Tampa. Anyway, it was pretty good. I'm definitely going to check out the speak on it after this, see what they had to say. I did see a little bit of it, and Jamie was reading Marlo, so I'm here for that. I'm going to see y'all later. Like the video on your way out. I don't even think we ever got to 1,000 likes. Y'all be tripping on me. Nope, we only got to 700. So definitely like the video on your way out. I will see you guys later. Probably tomorrow. Have a good one.